Hi, everybody. Hello. It's us, the J Girls. This is Couch Chat, RWJ Couch Chat. And I am Mommy J. Big J. We are the J Girls. And today we have a very special guest with us. I've already told her I don't know her, so she's just going to be a guest to me, to everybody. But I know her. Anyway, we have a very special guest. She's industrious. Oh no, she'll tell you about herself. We'll just leave her until she introduces herself. Until we see you on the other side with our guest. We'll see you on the other side with our guest. We see you later. All right, see you soon. Welcome back, everybody. Hello, everybody. We're here with our special guest, and we'd like her to introduce herself. Please can you introduce herself, our special guest?
Hi, my name is Bayile Adeoti. I am a wife, a mother, and an entrepreneur.
Good, Bayile. Thank you for telling us about yourself. Our program is Getting to Know You. And the reason why we are doing this program is to bridge the gap between raising kids in the diaspora, for those of us that were raised outside the UK or outside the diaspora, and for the kids to understand the reason why we are raising them the way we are. Because somehow there's a little bit of contention with being raised up in Scotland and myself being raised up in Nigeria as an individual. And I think that's the same thing for all the parents around. And so the reason why we have this discussion is just to bring that to light and bring that exposure to be able to understand this is why we do what we do. And so that is an interest for us. And so just like our visitor has said, our name is Bayile Adeoti. I've always wanted to ask you, what's the meaning of your name?
Bayile is Malawian, it's Nkonde, and it means the best is yet to come.
Wow. I like that. So is your mom Malawian?
Yes, both my parents.
Oh, I've always thought you were Nigerian or something. When did I ever think you were Nigerian?
My husband is Nigerian, hence the Nigerian.
Oh!
We don't want this guest anymore.
Look, you are so special because you are going to be the first East African we're actually talking about with Houserules. When we were talking about the other topics like the country, like Christmas in Africa, we had people from East Africa, and we've always struggled to get somebody from outside West Africa. So I am extremely thrilled that you are here. So please, thank you for coming on board today. And so, girls, any question for Auntie Bayile?
Tell us about yourself.
Tell us about yourself.
That's the whole question.
That's the whole question.
Okay, so I guess a little bit more. I help women set up businesses because I believe in the power of entrepreneurship and I believe in the power of a woman. And I know when a woman is empowered, she not only lifts up her family, but she lifts up her community. So I think even from a young age, young girls like yourself should know about entrepreneurship, and I'm an advocate for that. I love to cook, and I like to challenge myself with different cooking. So if you ask me if I've got a favorite food, it depends what mood I'm in, but I will never say no to tea. And I will have tea in whichever country I'm in. It doesn't matter whether it's in Lagos during Hamatan when the temperature is up to 37. You will see me at 4 o'clock having a cup of tea. Winters in Scotland, cup of tea. And I'll have tea throughout the whole day. It doesn't stop. So tea, if I have to say my favorite thing, then everyone will tell you her favorite thing is tea. I've got a tea cupboard from teas all over the world. And yeah, I just love them.
Yeah, I think my girls will like you, but I'm just hot chocolate. That's all. I'm just fine with hot chocolate. And I think tea and Malawians, they go together, right?
Yes, we're a tea growing country. So lots of teas from all over the world. Even the teas that you'll find in your supermarket have been blended with Malawian leaves. And also coffee. We're famous for growing coffee, but just one area of Malawi which is Mulanje Mountain, that grows both the tea and the coffee.
Okay, so good.
Wow.
Big J, any question? Any more questions, Fancy?
What's your favorite hobby?
Your favorite hobby?
At the moment, I would say my favorite hobby is walking. I love to walk to relax. I love to walk to keep fit. And
You know, wait. You know why we are laughing? You are the third guest we have invited from Glasgow, and all their hobbies are walking. There must be something about Glasgowsian and walking. there must be something about. Oh, please continue.
I can get lost in walking. I did watch the previous episode with Ruth Dada, and I did laugh when she said walking. Ruth and I actually will walk, we'll be on the phone or praying together, and we'll actually be doing our walks together. So sometimes, and we encourage each other. We say, how many steps have you done today? Well, I've done 15,000. Have you done your 10? Have you done your 15? So there's a bit of a competition that always happens. So yeah, it's a competitive walking.
So maybe if you link us up with somebody else in Glasgow, maybe we'll just have a different profile, hopefully, of a hobby. So what's your favorite music, your favorite book to read?
My favorite music, I've got quite an eclectic taste. So I guess also because I've got different types of friends. So I love like gospel music. One of my favorite artists has always been Israel Houghton, and I love the fact that he's releasing new music right now, and he's also doing lots of lives with his wife. I also love R&B and soul and blues and jazz, I guess all that genre. Yeah, that's my favorite
Do you like
type.
classic?
I do actually, especially because I like to go, okay, this is another hobby, I guess. I like to go to the theatre, so quite a lot of the shows I like are classicals, unless it's like new shows, things like Hamilton, which is more hip hop. So yeah, I like hip hop music too, but I love the theatre.
Over the past few weeks, I've been having some kind of Hamilton rave.
Okay, so what does a Hamilton rave look like?
Probably just singing it all the time and listening to it.
And then it's kind of annoying to me, and I tell them I don't want to hear it again. You sing it to your school, let it stop there. When you come into the house, sing. That's it.
You're still singing.
And then in the bathroom, hey, keep quiet, bath, nothing. All right, so that's it. All right, so any other question? We talked about food, it's tea. So what else? Talked about movies already.
My favorite book, I guess one of my favorite books that always stands out in my head is a book I read at school and I had to write about it. So it was by Maya Angelou, called I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And it talks about her journey of adolescence into womanhood and just the struggles and trials that she had. And obviously in that era in America. And Maya Angelou is very creative. She was a poet too. So I actually ended up, after reading that book, I ended up reading all her books, her autobiography and all the poetry books, because she's just an amazing writer. So yeah, my go-to person is Maya Angelou.
So good. I like her. I just like her haircut, and so I'm trying to wait until my hair is gray on that side. so I can have that. That's my own goal. That's white hair here. All right, so let's go to the next question. Little J, can you ask Auntie the next question? No, it's Big J. Can you ask Auntie the next question?
What are the house rules you grew up with?
Okay, so I know you invited people to come onto the show and to talk about their growing up in Africa, but I'm here to surprise Mummy again. I left Africa when I was 5. So
But you still had an African mom. That's it. You could have had that house rule.
I still had African parents. And so it was interesting because obviously growing up, I grew up in England before moving to Scotland. So they still wanted us to observe things like kneeling when we were saying hello to uncles and aunties. And the house rule that they actually enforced when I was quite early on in the United Kingdom with my sister was we weren't allowed to speak our native tongue, Chichewa, because I'm bilingual and I pick up languages really quickly. When it came to school, I would always write in my default language but I would always say things in English, and my English was perfect, my spelling was amazing, but I just could not get over writing in Chichewa. So the teacher thought that me speaking two languages was confusing me, so they actually put the house rule that we would speak no Chichewa at home, full stop, which meant that as I grew up, I only spoke English. Until this day, I only speak English to my dad.
No, but can you speak Chichewa now?
Broken Chichewa. I'm fluent in broken Chichewa, but I can also converse in Conde, which is where the root of my name comes from. So I'm fluent in them to understand them, but when it comes to speaking, very badly.
Oh no, it's just like me. Since I left Nigeria, I've kind of lost touch with speaking my native language. Although I understand the language of a place I grew up with, that's Yoruba, but my native language, I'm so rubbish in it that even to speak a good sentence, I struggle now. Because like 15 years, I've not had that continuous conversation with it. And so I think I know where you're coming from. But can you write it now?
Writing, I'm not that good.
I can't even write any, so forget it. I'm not bilingual because of my dyslexia. I'm not very good with languages. I can stick with one language, and that's English. Yoruba, because I grew up speaking it, so I'm used to speaking, but I can't write it. And a lot of my friends are Yoruba, so yeah. Igbos, my best friends are Igbo, but since I've known them for decades, I don't know how to speak Igbo. It's a shame to my own credibility. So if they want to abuse me, they will just say, "You, what are you doing?" So I should have been able to speak Igbo by now, but I can't help it.
Well, my friends are giving me a crash course in Yoruba, and when I went to Nigeria for 2 weeks, I picked up the language and I picked up different phrases. So I started to understand what that meant without even them translating in English. But once again, it just comes from being easy, finding it easy to pick up another language.
Yeah, that you're so good. You're so good. I'm happy for you. I maybe when I have a reborn, I might come become bilingual. So what other house rules did you grow up with?
House rules, really early curfews. So where maybe my friends, as I was growing up, my friends would stay out till 9 o'clock. I had to always be home by 5 o'clock and in the house 6 o'clock. But if it was till 9 o'clock, then I knew that my dad would be waiting for me wherever I was from about 7:30. He'd tell me that he was outside and make sure that I knew he was outside. So I'd probably leave earlier.
How did you manage that rule in England? 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it was just obviously as a 9-year-old child, you've got no say in it. It's 5 o'clock or 5 o'clock. There's no negotiating when you're 9. So
yeah, but that means that at the age of 9, your friends are able to stay outside till 9 p.m.
Whoa.
You're that you can't. Oh no, I love your parents then.
Yeah. No always meant no. So I remember one day my mum had hidden a birthday present, and I was always good at finding things. And I said to her, "I think I know where you hid it." And she said, "Whatever you do, Bayile, do not find it. Leave it where it is." Being obviously very inquisitive, I was like, "I'm sure I've seen it at the top of the kitchen cupboard." And the kitchen cupboards were quite obviously, I think I was 8 at the time, or turning 8. You just think the kitchen cupboards are really high. So I decided that I was going to climb on the counter and have a look to the top. I found the present, but as I was finding the present, because I climbed up, I also pulled the kitchen cupboards down with me. So no meant no, which also meant I didn't have a birthday party for my 8th birthday, which I was very disappointed about, because my mum loved parties and she loved to throw us parties and she loved birthdays. And so to not have a birthday party, and especially because I'm an April baby, so my birthday always fell during the Easter holidays, which meant that my mum would always start planning my birthday before the Easter holidays so that all my friends would come. So that was very disappointing. But last year in lockdown, when I could have no parties or no friends, it reminded me of my 8th birthday. I could have no friends come to the house because it was 4 weeks into lockdown, and I was like, this is
So you could have had a Zoom party then, because I realized that people started negotiating for Zoom parties. And you know, it was so funny seeing adverts of wine glasses in Zoom party. I'm like, excuse me, this is so real.
Yeah, my son Micah had a Zoom party. His birthday's a week before mine, and I organised a Zoom party, and I still held out thinking, I'm going to have a party for mine because they're going to say lockdown is over. So I had the hope, just as I'd had the hope when I was 8, I was like, I'm having a party. She's going to turn around and say, it's your birthday, you can have a party. She didn't. I thought lockdown will be over. It was not over. It was not. So,
all right. Yeah. So girls, so far Bayile has told us that the house rules she's grown up with had been
come inside
5 o'clock.
Yeah.
What else?
No is no.
No is no.
Yes.
And then she had to stop speaking a local language so that she'd be able to learn English, right? Why is it funny?
I want to.
They wrote on my door, teach us Yoruba every Friday. So it was so funny when I saw it. I said, "Oh my word, I'm the worst teacher ever."
It's still there.
It's still there.
Perhaps on a Friday.
Still there till today. I'm not taught anything. All right, so that's good. So these are the house rules we grew up. If you remember any other house rules, you can just tell us along the way as we go on. So these house rules must have kind of influenced the way you grew up and how your life turned out as an adult, or maybe all the other house rules you've not told us. So how has those house rules, how have they influenced you as a teenager, as an adult? How has it influenced your growing up?
I guess, do you know, I've just remembered one other house rule. The house rule, because I've got a little sister, was to always also look after my little sister. So wherever we went, had to make sure she was okay. And my little sister, being a little sister, sometimes does not listen to her big sister. So my sister had like a tendency of wandering off. So when we were younger, we were at the lake and she went into the lake, not almost drowned, but she just had an instant in the water. So she had fear of water. So after that, when it came to things like swimming, my attention would always be on her to make sure she was okay. And then she was always scared of like little insects and things too. So I always had to make sure, I'd always try and like looking after her. I'd either shoo them away or try and kill them just to make sure she was okay. And times that would get me. I remember one time it got me in trouble, and it was actually when I was 4. So before we even moved to England, my sister saw a gecko on the wall and she was scared of it in Malawi, and I threw a pen because I was like, that gecko needs to go, it can't upset my sister. Threw a pen, but she just got so upset at the sight of the gecko she burst out crying. So my mum came in the room and was like, what did you do to your sister? And because she was so hysterical, she couldn't even say it wasn't her. It took her like an hour to confess that I had done nothing. I had just tried to save her from this incident with the gecko. So yeah, I guess, so how has that influenced me as a big sister? I always look after my younger siblings, and I keep looking after them, looking out for them to make sure they're okay. And I will still try and get rid of beasties and things that they don't like.
So Big J,
No, Big J.
your head is down. She just said looking after. Did you hear that? What have we always been saying in this house about looking after? That's your role. There's nothing you can do. That's why you have told us, hey, look, don't stress her because you do things deliberately.
Yes.
By not reporting that she's not the one that causes some of the problem. And then I would have scolded her, and then she would not like, why is it that I always take the blame for everything?
Older child always gets the blame for the younger child. Big J, I sympathize with you. It's tough being a big sister.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I was a big sister too. I am a big sister.
Just one.
I have one younger
like
sister.
5 billion.
He said I have 5 billion older ones. I have 4 billion older ones.
No, 4.
4 billion older
4.
ones. And I have 1 million younger ones.
No.
All right, so let's continue. So now that's actually influenced your ability to be able to look after others. And I think that also influenced your ability to look after other people's businesses and to care for others. Because if I look at that, I'm just hearing that my interaction and relationship with you since I first met you, you've cared for women around you as if they were younger than, as if they were your younger sister. Some of them might be older in terms of age, but you built up this ability to care for others and protect other people's interests and not just yours. And I believe that's a very beautiful attribute you have. And Big J, that's something you have to take from Bayile, Auntie Bayile, because look at how that has influenced her. And now she's using that to help other people's businesses, help other women, help everybody she meets. And you see how beautiful that is. So don't think that it's a punishment. It's not a punishment that mommy is asking you to be diligent to take care of your sister, but it's because of your own sake. Did you hear her?
Yeah.
So you're taking that. That is very important that you're taking that away today. And for other kids that are out there, especially the older kids, this is very important. Auntie Bayile has told us today, being an older one comes with responsibility. And this is a perfect example of how those responsibilities have also influenced her as an adult, and she's carried her on into her business life. And thank you so much for that. I'm really grateful for that, because that just gives me a target gun for her. I can use, and for you not to always put her under the bus because you because you want her to act like the other one. Do you understand? All right, so who's gonna take the next question?
What rules do you use at home?
What rules do you use with Mike at home now?
With Mike is only 4, so he's trying to understand the world and trying to navigate the world as he sees it. So rules we like to have with him and is always saying please and thank you. That's really important. About manners, no talking with food in his mouth. And he's also quite good when he spots you talking with food in your mouth. He will say, "You're talking with food in your mouth." So he's good at picking that up. So he knows he's not to do it and you've not to do it either. So he likes to make sure we practice what we preach. And praying, that's a rule that we give to him, and it's not a forced rule, but he does enjoy praying and reading his Bible, and he looks forward to that every single night. Other rules, always addressing people like auntie and uncle. So even if his like last week he had his first play date with his best friend from nursery, and rather than calling his best friend's mum by just her name, I was making him say, right, do this with auntie so and so, do this with auntie so and so, and let auntie so and so do your shoes. So it's for him to also grow up like that in all areas of his life. Everyone older than him will always be auntie and uncle, and not just calling them by their first names, to show them the respect that they deserve. And I guess it also just brings that family and community to show that, yeah, this is someone that we're bringing into your life, and you can call them auntie and uncle, but just to show them a bit of respect.
Okay, beautiful. Summary, what did Auntie just say about the rules she's using to raise Micah?
Respect, say auntie and uncle. Don't talk with your mouth. We'll always say please and thank you.
Did anybody hear you?
Manners. Manners. Practice what you preach.
Respect, practice what you preach, manners.
Don't speak with your mouth full.
Don't speak with your mouth full, aunties and uncles. And I'm going to hone in on aunties and uncles. One of the things that is missing in among us, those from African Caribbean descent, is that people are beginning to wash away that ideology of calling people aunties and uncles, because they feel, okay, it's outdated. Like they are neutralizing their culture. And I'm an advocate of everything that is right in my culture. And aunties and uncle is something that we were raised up, and it helped us to see, like you said, older ones as older and junior ones as junior. And then that just gives that perspective for kids to respect those that are older than them. And I just thank you, because you are reflecting that in Micah's life, and I've also tried to reflect that in the girl's life. Those that are around me, they know they call them aunties and uncle, and not because we are blood relations, but because they need to understand that you need to respect those that are older than you. And when you do that, you'll be surprised that other people will respect you too, because there's nobody that doesn't like children that are respectful. Let me be honest with you. Nobody that doesn't like children that are respectful. Sometimes, even though culturally they don't see it as anything, everybody does what they like. But when they spot you out, you are different from the crowd. You know, and one of the visitors was telling us one time that when they moved from Igbo land in Nigeria and they moved to London, that they got to church and they called an elderly and Grandpa John, or Grandpa what? I think it was John. And at first the old man said, I'm not your grandpa. But he soon realized that is the culture the kids came with. And then before they knew it, he started using the kids as an example for other people in church. That those kids, they are so respectful that even though the kids became endeared to him all just because of the example of those kids. And kids that are hearing us, it is important because you stand out among the crowd. If you have a sense of respect for yourself, for those older than you, and a sense of respect and responsibility for those younger than you, it's very important that you carry on these values, because those are the values that will make you the kind of adult that will stand out and will change the world tomorrow. Just like Bayile is changing the world, especially with women in business. All right, so let's quickly go to the next question. Thank you for that. Please, what inspires you to keep going?
The thing that inspires me to keep going is the fact that I wake up every morning grateful, the fact that I've got a life and I've got breath in my body, which means that I've still got a purpose on this earth to fulfill. And also I've got a son, so even when I'm low, he keeps me going, and I've got a husband who encourages me to keep going. And I think it's just every single one of us has got the capability to impact one person and to help one person be better than they are where they are right now. So it's, I guess, that motivation to know that we can all make a difference to other people who are probably worse off than us, because it's a matter of perspective on how we're looking at our life. So when you think that your life isn't good, there's someone that's worse off than you, or someone that's actually praying for the life that you've got. Your good is someone else's luxury. So always have that perspective. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think you're so right with that last comment, because there are some times that you're so down and you're like, all these years I've achieved little or nothing. And the question is, there are so many people that are looking for that little or nothing that and so that puts you into perspective. Yeah, you can imagine, even if you think that you have not yet achieved everything, just bring 1 million people in a different situation would want to replace you immediately. And so thank you so much for that. The next question. All right, Big J, can you ask the next question, please?
Tell us about your hero.
Tell us about your hero.
My hero was my mum, because my mum raised 2 little girls, and she did everything to put food on the table for us. She was also an entrepreneur, and she also loved helping women and communities develop. She was also my son's best friend, and they spent lots of time together. And I love seeing you guys on the couch and having that mother-daughter relationship. And girls, what I would say to you is cherish that relationship. You will look to the world for a hero, and what you don't realize is the hero is actually the person that's sitting between you, cuddling you, and always looking out for you.
You know, when I was talking to Ruth, they were saying you are a hero, and I said, wait, when you grow up like Ruth, come back and tell me. Not now. Okay, so just like she said, I accept I'm your hero. I'm your hero. I'm your hero. So thank you so much for that. Bayile had actually told me more story about her mom, and I was really touched, moved to tears, because in a different situation, my mom has also struggled as an entrepreneur and also struggled with other aspects of life. But the thing is, in the whole perspective, her children was the most important thing. It was central to everything. In fact, my mom could actually sell herself to satisfy her children. Okay, so we have a last question for Auntie. What advice do you have for the kids?
The advice that I have for the kids would be dream big. Do not stop dreaming. I think it's important as you're growing up that people will tell you not to do things, and people might say you can't do that but it's important that you know that you're capable of achieving the impossible and doing the impossible. So when you dream big, when you allow yourself to know that you can do whatever you want to do with the right encouragement and right support around you, you'll be able to achieve whatever you want. So keep dreaming big and keep listening to your parents.
Okay, sweet and sharp. Okay, girls, thank you so much, Auntie Bayile, for this time. It has been a very interactive time. Girls, let's summarize everything. We want speed out. These are speed out time. Want to go? What are the things we are taking away?
Respect adults by saying auntie and uncle. Come home at the right time. Don't talk with your mouth full. No is no. Take care of your younger sibling. Please and thank you.
Dream big.
Dream big. Use your mind to your imagination to do big things.
Use your imagination to do big things. Little J, you've not said anything. Okay. So we've also learned about the things that inspire her. Her family is the center of the things that inspire her. Your family should be the center of the things that inspire you to keep going. You've heard the stories of a mom that inspired her. You heard the story of your grandmother. You heard my story. That should inspire you to be a better person for the future, because you are going to live a much better, prosperous, and bigger life. Thank you, Little J, for this wonderful time. I need to honor you as a special special assistant. You have been so encouraging in terms of the attendance today. So thank you so much, Bayile. And kids at home, these are the things that we've learned, and we are taking it on board to move to the next step. And until we come back next time with our special guest, we want to thank Bayile Adeoti. She's now my sister. I've studied her away from Malawi. She's now my sister. And so that is the way it is. So that's the mix of culture we enjoy in Africa. And I hope that you are coming back next time for another visitor is going to tell us everything about them and inspire us as we raise kids outside the diaspora. So until next time, guys, we want to say bye.